My name is Brian Redman. I'm part of the Ontario cohort for Brandon University in the doctoral program. I wanted to talk a little bit about the why behind my transformational change project and just give a quick background. My transformational change project deals with creating a progressive discipline plan that can be applied to a local school district. And in doing this plan, basically the background is that the school or the schools associated with this district had been involved with PBIS in the past, but it was years ago, and there was a relatively large demographic change that occurred within the district. And because of that, and because the district had a lot of new teachers, we were looking at creating a progressive discipline plan that teachers could refer to as well as administrators to help them not only make sure they were in compliance legally with what they were doing with discipline, but also make sure that they were doing everything they could to reach the students, keep them in the classroom, and understand the students' backgrounds to better educate them. So the first thing, Simon Sinek about the why. He has a video called where he talks about the why, and he refers to this thing called the golden circle. And the first part of the golden circle is the what. And he says that every organization should know what this is. And I think for my transformational change project, this was pretty clear. They knew what it was. We described pretty in depth exactly what the progressive discipline plan was and what the point of it was. The second part is the how, and this one goes a little bit deeper. Simon Sinek described how some people know this, some people know the how of their organization or the how of whatever project they're working on, but not all know it. And as far as my transformational change project goes, I think the how was described relatively adequately. I think we knew how we were going to do it. We knew. It was in our discipline consortium was made up of about 12 or 13 people, and they knew the basic process of how we were going to execute this new plan. We did some research with some neighboring districts. We looked at their discipline plans. We looked at our own demographics. We looked at the needs of our parents. We had a lot of parent choice schools kind of dominate the district, and so we knew that our progressive discipline plan needed to be a little bit different. So we kind of built off a couple different models and looked at some social emotional learning programs, and so the how of what we were going to do was pretty clear. Now the why, now this is the big one. Simon Sinek describes how only the best of the best know this and why their organization is valuable beyond profit. So there are people that aren't just showing up to work to just show up to work to make money. They actually they buy into their organization. They understand why the organization exists. They feel a part of it. And he also says the best organizations can explain the why first. And that's one thing we attempted to do during my transformational change project is we tried to explain the why before we even got into how we were going to do it and what exactly it was. We talked a lot about the demographics of our schools, the needs of progressive discipline, and how exactly that was going to look. We also explained, gave the statistics behind minorities in discipline and, the disparity between the ethnicity of teachers versus the students they are teaching and the cultural differences there, and sometimes explain how that could be an issue as far as school discipline goes. And so I think we did a pretty good job of explaining the why behind the organization for our progressive discipline plan transformational change project. So overall, if you're looking at that golden circle, I think that everyone in our discipline consortium, everybody that was on their transformational change team, as far as administrators, teachers, classified staff, they all understood the why. Now, it was definitely a struggle with some teachers in the organization or some employees to make sure that they got on board as far as buying into the program. There were some issues with programs in the past that had been presented, and then they looked like they were the next best thing, and then they were dropped. And so there was a little bit of pushback because of that. They kind of figured it was just another program. But I think we've shown so far that that's not the case. And I think the big part is really pushing the why, and not only pushing the why at the beginning of the transformational change, but actually pushing the why throughout the whole change process. And even after, we're already starting to implement the progressive discipline plan. We've been implementing it for about 4 or 5 months now, and we still really push on the why and explain to the teachers and the administrators and the rest of the staff on why we're doing what we do, which is educating students and trying to help them reach whatever potential they have. So that would be our why.